Hello everybody, welcome back to another video, and today we have some news, some announcements, and stuff like that. I know it hasn't been too long since my last video, but as you can probably tell by the title, um, and if you're in my server, then you've seen it as well that we are at moving forward with another off-season event. A few weeks, and then probably what's going to happen is that little intermission, and then we will start our preparation for season three and try to get that out at the beginning of 2026. Much anticipated, long awaited season three that has been delayed a little bit due to some personal things. Then we had an off season event. Then I was playing in another league. And then now we have another off season event. And then we're going to run it with our season three, which we have a cool um, sort of format to do for that. It's a little different. I think it's cool. It's a cool idea. People liked it. So I think we're going to run with that. But we're announcing another off season event. That is going to be NFE, not fully evolved. It's not a very common thing. And I don't know really where I got the idea from. Interestingly enough, I found out that there's another league, the ZDA, that is doing an NFE draft currently. It's a cartridge league, not a showdown league like ours. Um, but I saw that they were doing it, and I was like, oh, wow, that's pretty interesting. I kind of, had never seen anybody else do it. I kind of thought it was an original idea of mine. Not super original. NFE obviously has existed in some capacity for a while now, but doing it a draft, I had never seen any other leagues advertise for it or anything like that. So it's cool to see that somebody had already done it before I did it, which gave us a little bit of a backbone to base ours on. So that's really cool. Help us get some groundwork. But we will be doing an NFV off season, and this is the sort of official announcement for it. As for some sort of I guess channel updates, if you guys are watching, um, I will know I am no longer in the Ball Joey Draft League, or should I say, my season in the Ball Joey Draft League had ended. I did make playoffs, and then the week leading up to my first match, I made the decision to forfeit, which sucks. I hate forfeiting in a playoff scenario, but I was going to play Grape again, the grass monotype coach player, whatever you want to call it. And I was not looking forward to that matchup. I thought about just throwing a team together, um, and just going at it, and, just seeing what happened. But I was busy prepping for this, and pretty much Sunday, which was the last day to get it done, had kind of crept up on me, and I was like, well, I don't have a team prepped yet. I've been busy prepping for SADL, and I reached out to Grape and I asked him. I said, "How would you feel if I forfeited?" And he was like, "Honestly, I don't feel like playing either. And if you want to forfeit, that's up to you." So I decided I was going to forfeit. I didn't want to. It was kind of sucked to have to play such a bad matchup not 2 weeks in a row, because we did have a slight break in between our matches because the week in between was for play-ins and I had avoided play-ins, but I would have to play grass again, and I did not want to play grass again. Honestly, I had went all out. It's such a bad matchup for water, and I had kind of not I say went all out, but I had planned pretty good for it because I did want to try to get a good shot at winning. And honestly, if I would have played Grape in maybe the second round of playoffs or finals, I would have been completely okay with that. But playing him 2 matches in a row was just terrible, honestly, and I did not want to go through that. And like I said, had already dedicated my schedule to finishing up the SADL this off season, trying to punch that through. So unfortunately, my season ended with a forfeit, and it was just kind of just a bad spot. Honestly, I did enjoy that though. I did enjoy the monotype. I think there are some tweaks that could be made to that particular format moving forward. So if I ever want to host one, I have a good baseline that I could do some additions to. But either way, that Ball Joey Draft League, our season ended, and so time to move on with our NFE. And I've kind of done enough yapping about just random stuff, so we're going to get down into it. Basically, what it's looking like. pretty simple, I guess you could say. Straightforward. It's very similar to our other seasons that we've done as far as like the general drafting rules, but obviously being a different format, we have some changes. So basically, we have 6 tiers instead of seven. Basically, there's not enough NFE mons to really dictate doing 7 tiers. The ZDA, which we got this based off of, was also doing tiers, which is really cool because you don't see a lot of tier based leagues anymore. A lot of them have switched over to points, which I understand why. Points kind of gives you a little more like flexibility, but I at the SADL I really enjoy the like kind of rigidness that tiers bring, and it's a different approach. Either way, they had a 5 tier system. We went a 6 tier system, partially because they were like I said on cartridge. They were using Scarlet and Violet. We were using Nat decks, so more Pokemon and just kind of spreading things out a little bit. So we're doing a 10 round snake draft. We usually do 10 or 11 is what we've kind of been doing at the SADL. We're doing 10, basically uh, very similar to how it has been. One tier one Pokemon, that's always been the rule, and then two of the tiers 2 through 5, and one tier 6 for a grand total of 10 Pokemon on your team. So pretty simple, straightforward. Long draft format that may change. We'll have to see. I might pull it around, see what the ideas are. Um, we may do a shorter version. I know some draft leagues have been doing a longer first round, and then the other rounds afterwards are cut shorter to like 4 hours. Might wind up doing that to make the draft move a little bit faster. Haven't decided on that yet. If you have any ideas, let me know in the server or put them in the comments of the video. What you guys want to do. I may do a poll depending on what the opinions are to see how we do that. But either way, NFE draft, obviously, only NFE Mons allowed. We are doing the same low tier free Terra system that we have been implementing. Basically, Pokemons in 4, 5, and 6 are allowed to Terra. You get one Pokemon from each tier that can Terra for a total of 3 Terra captains. So you can have a 4, 5, and a 6 that can all Terra. That's how it was in Season 2. Basically, if a Pokemon is not listed, it is considered to be in tier 6. There may be some exceptions. We did a pretty good job of kind of combing through the Pokemon. Me and Jake did. Shout out Jake, by the way. Give him a lot. If you see him in the server, give him a huge thank you. He does a lot of my back end work. He's basically my doc guy, as well as a person whose opinions I trust. So I give him a lot of my. If I have something I'm not strongly opinionated about or feel strongly, I'll ask him about it. Obviously, you can't pick a Pokemon. Pokemon multiple forms, you get access to all of them. Pikachu, I think, is the only Pokemon that has multiple forms in NFE. So there's that. Also, you can draft the Pokemon with the same Pokédex number, but you cannot use them on the same team. So you can draft both forms of Rattata. However, though, you cannot bring both Rattatas in the same game. Pretty simple rule. Um, as far as the season goes, we're going to do 5 weeks and then we're gonna do a play in. I like the play in idea for the shorter seasons. It kind of sucked that it was done how it was done with monotype uh, in the Ball Joey Draft League. But we're gonna do. I think the play in really is good for the shorter seasons, um, because you just have less games to decide outcomes. You know what I mean? And even doing having done a few seasons with the SADL, even with like a 10 game season, which is what we usually do, or a 10 week season, there's a lot of tied records. Now, obviously, differential will come into play usually, and you usually don't have a lot of people who have tied differentials, but having a shorter season, the chances of that happening are more likely. And even teams that are separated by like one or two differential really don't feel like they've made that big of a difference throughout the season because they only played 5 games. So having that play in and having teams that are maybe ninth or 10th and are really only out of the playoffs by one or two slots, um, I think they're going to really like that play in. Now, the number of seeds is going to depend on interest. I think we have a general gauge. I imagine we're going to shoot for 12, maybe 14 or 16. If that's the case, if we get 12, we're probably going to do an 18 playoff. If we get less than 12, then we're probably going to do a lower seeded playoff. We'll figure that out though. It's not set in stone because we don't. I don't have a general. I have a general gauge of interest, but I don't have a specific gauge of interest because, of course, this is signups. We may get a lot of people really interested in this. It's pretty interesting. We have like 30 people in the server currently, plus we have people outside of the server who might be interested. So we'll find out. If push comes to shove, we might run two divisions. I'm not sure yet. We'll see. It's always possible. I don't want to make a huge thing of this, but like we had 36 people in the Ball Joey Draft League off season. So pretty crazy. Obviously, so moving forward, battle rules. All games must be played in Gen 9 tier preview. Pretty simple. SV cartridge wins. There are no ties. Best of one set, right? If you've been playing draft before, you know this. Here are our battle rules. Oh, also replays placed in the replay channel. Here are our battle rules. Species clause. We already talked about that briefly. Sleep clause. Pretty simple. It's built into Showdown. We do allow sleep moves in the SADL. I'm never was a big fan of the sleep ban that happened in OU or general, or I say general singles play. Evasion clause. Can't use evasion boosting moves or abilities. So basically anything that, Sand Veil, Snow Cloak, those are banned. Oko clause, can't use Oko moves. Moody clause, can't use Moody. Endless battle clause, you can't induce an endless battle. And then baton pass clause, we allow dry passing in the SADL. So pretty simple. Arena Trap and Shadow Tag are completely banned. There are only 3 Pokemon. I guess technically 4 if you count both Gotharita and Gothita? Is it the names of them? I forgot their names honestly. They're not allowed to use Shadow Tag, and then neither Diglett or Trapinch are allowed to use Arena Trap. Hidden Power, Last Respect, Revival Blessings, and Shed Tail are banned. I don't even know if any Pokemon get Shed Tail in FE. Um, but yeah, Hidden Power, Last Respect, all that's banned. Important rule alert. This is sort of an item clause, sort of ban. Item clause, sort of. This is a big crux, though. I want you guys. It is capitalized. Important rule alert. Eviolite is banned on any Pokemon in Tier 1. I'm going to show the draft board in a little bit. Any of the Tier 1 Pokemon cannot carry Eviolite under any circumstances. It's a big balancing point of the way the tiers are. Pokemon are in either Tier 1 because they're really strong or because they're too strong with Eviolite. Pay attention to that. And you may only bring 2 Pokemon holding Eviolite per battle. That's also important because you cannot run. If you bring your Tier 1 and then 5 non-Tier 1s, you can't run 5 Eviolites. You can only run it on 2 Pokemon. So remember that when you are drafting and when you are prepping for your weeks. 2 Eviolite holding per battle. I will probably do team checks just to make sure because we are enforcing this, and Eviolite can be a hard item to pick up on because it's not a consumable or something like that, and you can only find it really through damage calcs. So it will probably be after battles we'll be having Pokepaste checks, et cetera, et cetera. Quickly at the bottom, some other important item bans. Weather rocks are banned. Weather's just really strong in NFE, especially Sun. So weather rocks are banned completely. Quick Claw, King's Rock, Razor Fang, all Z crystals and gems except the normal gem because it is in Gen 9 are banned. Pretty straightforward. That's kind of like the normal item clauses that you see in most leagues and in general play. Breaking any rule or clause may result in a 3-0 forfeit for the opponent. So remember that. Pretty straightforward, like I said. Um, these are Most of these are similar rules to what we've had before in the past. Um, as far as SADL rules go, and very similar to other draft leagues. Um, so yeah, we're gonna take a quick look at the draft board right here. Like I said, we have 6 tiers. As you can see in tier 1, we have some really strong Pokemon. Also, check out the ban list. All the weather setting Pokemon are banned. Olin Vulpix, Amara, even though like Amara and Snover aren't particularly strong, we just wanted because if we were banning all weather setters, we wanted to limit as much weather as possible. Basically the more weather Pokemon that are banned. Vulpix is banned because Sun is really strong, but then that allows Snow and Sand to potentially be strong. The only way for you to set weather semi-automatically is that we did not ban Silicobra. Silicobra is allowed. Obviously, its sand works a little different. But we figured it'd be okay because it's not really that strong and it doesn't set sand automatically the same way that hippopotamus can. It can be played around a little bit more, although it is still pretty good. But yeah, pretty much as you can see, pretty normal draft board with, like I said, the 3 and 4. This is where the Terra line is. So basically, any mon that is really strong with Terra was essentially put in 3. There were some mons in 4 they can Terra. So pretty simple altogether. I will have a link of this in the description of the video along with the sign up sheet so you can see those there. And this will also probably be posted if you're getting this video in another server. It'll also probably be posted there. So yeah, there we go. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple. Um, if you're interested, sign up. Actually, you know what I'll do real quick? We'll look at the sign up real quick. So sign up is pretty simple. Showdown, Discord name, whatever your current Discord name is. That way I know where to find you in the server. Put your showdown name and then your team name. We like to have team names. I'm a little I like team names. They're cool, right? They're fun. So put a little team name, even if it's something simple that you don't really care about, just throw it in there. Basically, this allows us to have our kind of a master list of our general information. That way, we kind of know who's who, and there's not like any kind of switching around or weird anything like that. I don't. I trust most people not to like ghost or cheat or anything like that, but I kind of want to make sure. I've had instances before where people would play with multiple usernames and it got really confusing. So I want to be able to kind of have like a just a reference where I can kind of see everybody's information. Not private information, obviously, but you know what I mean. But yeah, that is pretty much everything. If you're interested, like I said, give us a sign up. If not, stay tuned for more information on season 3. It's pretty cool. Very different sort of idea, but I think people will like it, right? I think we had a good idea with Duo Shuffle. Turned out pretty okay. And I think people would like this idea for season 3. So, like I said, if you're interested, give a sign up. I'll probably also have a link to my Discord if you're seeing this in another server. So feel free to join the server, shoot me a DM, let me know that you signed up or anything like that. But until then, see you guys later and best of luck.